saving green.
What's up, ninjas? What is going on this
Sneaky Saturday?
Sneaky Saturday. And why is it a sneaky Saturday, Busy Bee?
We're always doing something sneaky.
We're always doing something sneaky. So what are we doing sneaky today?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Well, why don't you get a little technical here? What are we doing a little sneaky today? We're doing some mowing, of course, which is not sneaky. That's part of the whole channel. But do what'd you just say?
A little bit of aeration.
Little bit of aeration, ninjas. We're gonna go ahead and squeeze in one or two. We also are doing what else? Well, why did we bring the ladder?
Oh, gutter job.
Gutter job, that's right. Why am I yelling? Why am I yelling? I guess I'm excited. Listen, ninjas, so we got the Tiny loaded up with some seed and spreader, and we got the trailer loaded up with the aerator, the Spartan, the Bumblebee, and yes, we are at the church if you haven't noticed. Now, we had a bit of a complication this morning, did we not, Busy Bee? What was the complication? Tell us what gave us trouble, which made us have a late start. First of all, explain what the problem was and why does that happen?
The Toro just had a little bit of a hard time starting from sitting.
The Toro had a hard time starting from sitting. Is that normal?
Yeah.
After any unit, any machine sits for a while.
Yeah, if it sits a little bit.
Why is that? Because of why?
I guess just gas sitting in there.
The fuel, right? Now all this ethanol stuff, ninjas, that they put in our fuel, whether you use it 87, 89, 93, it doesn't really matter. If you let it sit for a while, it will just... What does the fuel actually do to the carb?
Just
hardens up?
Yeah, it gums it up.
Gums it up, and it just has a hard time starting. Now look, I have started this aerator, ninjas, throughout this last summer, but I probably a couple times, not every month, maybe every 2 months. I'd at least started running around the yard, let it run, but I guess it's not enough. And the fact of the matter is, it sits more than it gets used. Bottom line, we had a hard time getting that started. And so I thought to myself, wait a second, Busy Bee. Well, first of all, before I get ahead of myself, it was turning over and over and over and over and over. I ended up draining what?
Battery.
I ended up draining the battery, ninja. So what did we have to do?
Had to jump it off.
We had to jump it off, and of course the battery charged up, but it would not start if it was for Busy Bee and I's life. So what did we end up doing? What did I say? Wait a minute, Busy Bee. Hey, Busy Bee, wait a second. If my mind serves me correctly, I have something in the garage that I think might help. Now I don't know, because the last time we tried using it on that old broken pressure washer, what'd you end up doing with that thing? Besides the point. Anyway, I said, what if we end up using it? It's worth a try. I don't know, maybe we may have to drain the whole fuel tank, which we didn't have time for any of that crap. I ain't got time for that mess. But I was like, if we maybe just add it into the fuel tank a little bit, maybe it'll fix the problem. Who the heck knows? So really, so I went to my handy dandy little garage, opened my handy dandy little toolbox, and what did I pull out?
You pulled out mechanic in a bottle.
We pulled out the MIB, mechanic in a bottle. Now what is that? Read it to us. What does it say on there?
Fix poor or
speak up.
Fixes poor or non-running engines.
Poor or non-running engines. So this was obviously a non-running engine. Yep. But it's good for engines that are running, but maybe they were running a little sluggish or something. Now, what did it say how much to put in there?
I think it was 4 ounces.
4 ounces. Now what is that bottle total?
7 ounces.
8 ounces, yes. And it threw me off at first too. So it says 7 right here, ninjas, but the actual cap, how full it was all the way up here, and it's total of 8, because if you read on there, it says a total of 8. Now it says put 4 ounces on there and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. Is that what we did, Busy Bee?
Yeah, maybe not quite that long.
Maybe not 5 minutes, maybe. Now, yeah. Did I wiggle a little bit the gas tank and the aerator? Did I you know, just do a little wiggle?
A little bit.
Okay. Did it work?
It sure did.
Did it start up?
Yep.
Did it fire up?
Yep.
Did Sensei jump in the air and scream, ah?
No, you didn't do that.
I hope not. Yes, I did, ninjas. I got super excited, and I cannot believe what this thing did. Amazing. I'm telling you this from experience. I wish I recorded the whole thing, right? Because we really were battling with it. I didn't think we were even going to have to mess with it. I thought I was just going to fire it up and put it on the trailer. That's why I didn't bring my camera with me, but I really did wish I recorded it. Now I did put 4 ounces in here and it fired right up. The other 4 ounces, 2 of it I put in the sgninjas mower because it's been sitting in there for a while, and the other 2 I put in the yellow bumblebee, the other 2 ounces, because the yellow bumblebee is running fine, of course. But have you noticed a little bit when you throttle it down, it kind of tends to a little sluggishness there, you know, but nothing severe to the point where it's affecting the cut or affecting using the mower. But so I ended up just putting 2 ounces in there and 2 ounces in the sgninjas mower. But ninjas, I am telling you, mechanic in a bottle, fix poor or non-running engines. I'm a firm believer. Are you?
Yep.
Have you ever even heard of this? But would you ever go buy this if you have an engine that's not actually running or giving you trouble starting or running sluggish?
Yeah, seems to work.
And it works. I'm a firm believer. Now listen, we're gonna go do this yard. Not gonna record here, but I will show you the gutter job. Wow, interesting little gutter job we have. Yeah. The gutter job ninjas, they're actually growing a garden inside the gutters. Have you ever tried that?
No.
Pretty interesting. So they're growing a garden inside the gutter. Anyway, what is that?
What's what?
What is that? What are you wearing?
Not for sure, just a hoodie.
Ooh! sgninjas mindset. What's it say in the back?
I can't remember.
Okay, I don't need to see your hat. No, let me see the back. Separates the best from the rest. How you like the hoodie, man?
It's comfy.
It's comfy?
Yep.
You didn't wear the hat today. I guess it's not cold enough for you.
No, not quite yet.
So we got the hoodies, ninjas. We got the hoodies. Where can they go if they want some hoodies?
sgninjas.com.
Can you speak up, man? I mean, seriously, why are you whispering? We are out here. Cars are flying by. Ninjas want to hear what you got to say. Come on. sgninjas. No, you got to say sgninjas.com. Say it.
sgninjas.com.
Oh, come on, man. This guy, it's like pulling a freaking lawnmower that hasn't had a mechanic in a bottle in years. But anyway, we'll see you, ninjas. We got to get to going. We got to get to mowing.
Yep.
Okay, ninjas, so we just got to this gutter job, which is a garden growing in the gutters. If you've never seen anything like it or what we're talking about, you're not certain of it, we will show you here in just a second. First of all, this roof is not really walkable, so we are going to have to do it by hand, exactly how Busy Bee's doing it. But let me go ahead. There's a little bit of the garden growing. So let's go around here and show you really the garden. Look at that. I mean, these gutters are bad. Check that out. See the garden? Easy, buddy. Don't worry, if you come down, I'll catch you. Look at that. I see you repping them SK Tools gloves. Look at that. Ninjas, you know you got a good employee when he trusts you with your with his wallet. Look at that. Any money in here, Busy Bee?
Probably a little bit.
Huh? Oh, I see some stripper money.
Yeah, I gotta have a little bit.
Busy Bee just got out of the strip club last night. I told her, I said, look, your grass is dead, but it's pretty tall and you've got a lot of leaves in the back. And she did. I'll show it to you when I go back there, how I cleaned it up. So she's like, do you recommend mowing it one more time before the aeration and seeding? I said, absolutely. You're actually supposed to, because it was really scruffy looking. And so she said, all right, let's do it. So I gave her a quote. She was good with it. And now I've made additional money off this customer by just having a normal conversation with her. So where I'm going with this is, ninjas, sometimes just talk to them, hear them out, and listen to what their plan is, what they're planning to do, and you can recommend, there's Busy Bee, something else that will generate you more income, and it'll help them out as well. As you can see, the weeds we were pulling, they did end up getting it mulched. We didn't do this, they did it, and it looks much better. Hopefully either they'll keep up with the weeds or they'll let us keep up with it so it doesn't get as bad as it did before. I see a few little ones popping up here and there. But anyway, what I wanted to, and I'm not planning on recording here, there's nothing to record. You guys have seen it once, you've seen it twice, you've seen it before. But what I wanted to go ahead and ask you is, I landed that job, that big job that we looked at on the last video that was very late in the afternoon. It got dark on us, and I know I wasn't able to show you all around the property because I was talking and walking around with the owner, and Busy Bee stayed in the truck. But I did get the job. I got mowing for bi-weekly once the mowing kicks in. This is obviously for next season. Weekly leaf cleanup, so that's great. We're going to do it weekly so that way it doesn't pile up on us. And twice a year shrubs. Shrubs are needing it right now as we go into fall, and probably one more time right as we enter spring. And aerating, overseeding, I know the sun is bright, aerating, overseeding, all those good things, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And detaching. So the reason I'm starting this video right now, ninjas, I don't own a detacher. I've never invested in one. I never really had anybody ask me to detach. So you know where I'm going with this. What do you ninjas recommend? I obviously want something that's pretty simple, durable, built well, and I would love to have one of those where you actually attach it to your mower, if possible. I know there's several different kinds probably. There's some probably that you pull behind, but I would love if you could hook something up where, kind of like the Cartmate, for example, you know, you hook it up in front of your mower and just go. That yard definitely needs to be detached before we get to the aeration, because he killed all the weeds and all the grass, and it's just piled up, and I'll show you when we get there next week. So let me know, ninjas, what would you recommend? What kind of detacher? What are some of the prices out there? I have no idea. I've never invested in this. Have you even used one ever? Have you even heard of the detaching?
I've heard of it, but
you've heard of it?
Seen one.
You've never seen one. Okay, so you know, neither have I. I mean, I've heard of it and I've seen them, but I've never invested in it because I've never had the need. I would love to own one so that way it's an option that I can offer to my customers, but I'd love to detach my own front yard too. It's never been done. So let me know on that, but I'm super excited that we got that job. Are you excited, Busy Bee? Yeah. Are you excited just because of the fact it's one extra thing that's gonna keep us busy during this fall and winter? Yeah. And it is a year-round service basically, so you know, we've got so much work lined up. We've got topsoil out the tail, we've got aerations out the tail, and now we got another huge account. I know the sun, another huge account that is going to keep us super busy. Are you excited, man?
Yeah.
Come on, give me a yes. So, should you buy a stand-on aerator if you're just now getting into aeration? Of course, the answer is no. Absolutely do not do that. Do not go into debt and, you know, acquire a huge machine like this when you don't have the clientele. This thing is $10,000+ roughly, and it is a specialty machine. So it's something that you're not going to use all year round. You're going to only use it during that certain time of the year. Let me help Busy Bee. I'll get right back to you. Do not purchase this until you build up the clientele, okay? If you are just now getting into aeration, congratulations. There's a crap ton of stupid kind of money out here. It's really good for the yards. The customers will be happy, especially when it comes time in the spring. They'll probably see some results after a couple of weeks, but really it'll boost in spring. But in order to get to that level of where you're going to be ready purchasing a stand-on, I'm going to tell you ninjas what I did, okay? So, because everybody's situation is different. I don't know how you are with your finances. Maybe you don't have the clientele just yet, but you can afford one. Still kind of crazy to do that, but maybe you can do that. I didn't. So what I did is I bought a pull behind aerator. Matter of fact, I couldn't afford it, a plugger. So I ended up getting a spiker. If you guys know what the difference with that is, the plugger is basically where it plugs the dirt, and you're gonna have a plug like this, and those are the best, of course, but they were super expensive for me. So the spiker is basically just where it's like transmission gears or teeth, you know what I mean? It's just a spiker. So I ended up purchasing that. It did the job, it did show results, but it wasn't the best. And my customers started asking me, hey, did you even aerate? And I'm like, yeah, I spiked it completely. They're like, well, we're always used to those plugs. So I knew very quickly from then and there on that I needed to change that. But I used it, and I ended up going and started renting. I rented a lot of push aerators, okay? A lot of you ninjas, I was still push aerating when I started this whole YouTube ordeal. And that's what I did. I did it for several years, even prior to YouTube. That was my thing. That's all I could afford, and I was building this thing up. And finally, I got to the point where I could buy one. And so, you know, work your way up. If you are really interested in getting into this aeration, and let's say maybe you just now got 5-10 accounts, do not go buy a $10,000 unit that's going to sit all summer long, okay? And you might use it a little bit in the spring, and then you'll use it in the fall. Rent, or if you can afford it, which is definitely a cheaper way out or cheaper route, is buy a pull behind plug aerator. You'll see a lot of guys using them. I rented the push aerators, the walk behind aerators. The stand on aerator is going to make life a hell of a lot easier, but you have to work up to that. The walk behind aerator, they're okay, they'll do the job, but you're going to work twice as hard, and you're going to it's going to beat your body. I'm just telling you, it's going to beat your body. And they're not really that cheap neither. You're talking $2,000-$3,000 for a decent one. So, you know, but if that's the route you need to go, if you can afford to buy one of those walk behind aerators instead of renting them, then do that. Work up to the stand on aerator is all I'm saying. Now, as far as pricing goes, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to touch on this just a little bit because every area is different, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is what you need to charge, okay? But I will tell you that I have figured it out for me what a bag of seed costs, and if you're doing any kind of, let's say, for example, fertilization or lime, okay? So that's 2 different bags, so you got 3 different bags. Lime, if you're doing the fertilizing, and if you are overseeding. So the total cost on those, this is just a rough example, let's say anywhere between $70 to $100 is a bag of seed, okay? So we'll call it $100. Lime, you're probably looking at about 12 to 15 bucks, okay? So we'll call it 20 bucks. And then fertilizer, if that's what you're offering and if that's what you do, probably another 20 bucks. So you're looking at 140. So let's round it up to $150 on a bag of seed, bag of fert, and a bag of lime. How much money should you, in my opinion, make on those 3 bags? You should at least double your amount, okay? At least double your amount, because you're also aerating, and you have to charge aerating accordingly. You're using a specialty tool, and if you are working with a walk behind aerator, it's not easy work, okay? It's not easy work. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different minimum. Some people will charge minimum $75 to at least aerate. Some people will charge $100 to $150, and of course a lot of this will play a role in the size of the yard. No doubt about that. But anyway, I'm out of here. I don't want to yell. Of course, I'm in the neighborhood. It's getting dark, so that's why my tone of voice is a little bit down. But I hope you ninjas enjoyed. I hope that's helped you. If you have any other questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them if I can, if I know the answers. At the end of the day, ninjas, I can only tell you what I do, what's worked for me, and share that with you in hopes that it might help you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will. For a lot of you ninjas out there, your circumstances and situation might be completely different than what it is for me or what it was for me. So, you know, I'm never going to sit here and tell you what you need to do, but I am always going to tell you what I think should be done and what I truly believe, what I did, and what I would recommend. That's it. So I'm not the one to sit here and tell you this is the way to do it, because there's not only the one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do things in business, and for everybody it works differently. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Take care. Stay tuned. A whole bunch of videos next week. We got a lot of stuff going on. I've got a lot of jobs lined up. Might even have some extra help.
Saving green.
Take care. Peace.
Saving green, be the team. You.